Hyundai is making news with a court enforceable undertaking. OMG. WTF. It doesn't sound good, does it? I'm John Cadogan from AutoExpert.com.au, the place where Aussie new car buyers save thousands off their next new cars. Hit me up on the website for that. I got lots of inquiry yesterday by email and via YouTube and Twitter. Here's a representative taste from Tone167. Any chance of an update, John? Looks like Hyundai has signed a similar undertaking to Holden's with the ACCC. Keen to hear your take on this, especially given that you've cited Hyundai as more responsive to consumer issues than some other makes. Fair enough. If I was considering buying a Hyundai, this would concern me too. Here's exactly what's going on. The ACCC is running rather a stiff brush through the entire car industry, and they're going in through the distal end of the digestive tract without lubrication. It's about time too. There's no point having laws that are not enforced, no point having laws that car makers' franchise agreements routinely violate, and there's no point having laws that some dealers treat as if optional. It opens the door to extreme consumer exploitation. The ACCC officially put the Australian car industry on notice last August. One of its major beefs with the industry concerns complaints handling procedures. Some brands and some dealers ignore consumer law totally. When consumers mention their rights, they might be told, "Mate, that's only for toasters and mattresses, come on." Bullshit like that. Collectively, the car industry has shot itself in the foot. In July 2017, the ACCC dragged Ford's sorry ass to federal court, alleging that Ford engaged in unconscionable and misleading or deceptive conduct and made false or misleading representations in response to customer complaints. That case remains before the court, so it is unlawful for me to speculate on Ford's guilt or innocence. I will say, however, that in my experience, Ford Australia is a particularly bad operator in the context of both product quality and also customer support. They're number one in number twos on both, and what a pity that's not an Olympic sport. At about the same time, the ACCC had a little knife fight in a phone box with our friends at Holden, and Holden soon realised, after looking down, that it was standing there holding a toothpick. Holden acknowledged publicly that misrepresenting the rights of consumers and its own obligations under consumer law was, in fact, how it was doing business in many cases. This is a public admission by Holden that it acted unlawfully and screwed consumers over. And I've got to say, companies hate doing that kind of thing because they put such incredible effort into imparting a positive spin on everything, including events like closing their factories. Correction, transitioning to a national sales company. Weasel word, arseholes. Holden was compelled to enter into the first court enforceable undertaking, I'm sure, but I don't have definitive proof, that on balance of probabilities there was some very real undisclosed threat, most probably that of prosecution, and this is what got Holden over the line and fessing up publicly. Rod Sims is the chairman of the ACCC. He said, Holden has offered an undertaking that goes beyond ensuring compliance with the current consumer guarantee obligations. So the official push is most definitely on to change the way the car industry does business in Australia. There's going to be stricter regulatory compliance, that's just how it is. In particular, the ACCC is pushing for things like transparency from car makers so that you are aware of your rights. It also wants car makers to review recent complaints and current complaints handling procedures, with that last point extending to dealers and the way they handle your initial complaints if the car is not meeting your expectations. Here's a question I got yesterday from Shane Heen. Nothing from you about Hyundai being reamed by the ACCC. Hyundai has apparently agreed to court enforceable undertakings in a similar vein to Holden. Let's unpack that. The ACCC is pushing for every car maker to enter into formal compliance agreements. Those agreements are called court enforceable undertakings. Some car makers are going to fight back, like say Ford, some are going to be coerced into it, like Holden, and some are going to come to the party willingly. Rod Sims from the ACCC. Hyundai worked constructively with us and formally committed to improve their systems to comply with consumer guarantees. By putting the consumer law front and centre, Hyundai is seeking to ensure its customers get what they're legally entitled to. Scott Grant is the operational big cheese, a 120-degree wedge of Jarlsberg for Hyundai in Australia. He told News Limited this: the ACCC has not been investigating us or identified any number of complaints or problems with our products or services or highlighted any particular individual consumer issues to build a case against us. This is very different philosophically to the ACCC's dealing with Holden. There's no coercive pressure, no statement about non-compliance. Make no mistake, the ACCC is expecting a court-enforceable undertaking from every car maker pretty soon. This is great news for you, the car owner, auditioning perhaps for the part of David in an upcoming battle with Goliath, a car maker. Rod Sims told the ACCC he is currently in talks with all the major manufacturers to get them to follow Holden and Hyundai and change their warranty policies. This statement from Rod Sims underlines how easily, personal opinion, these regulatory bureaucratic wonks just shoot themselves in the foot without even trying. A no-effort triumph. They just don't understand the media or the corporate world. There are currently 50-something automotive brands watching yesterday's rich media tapestry unfold from the sidelines. Personal opinion again, by lumping Hyundai together with Holden in ill-considered comments, Rod Sims is failing adequately to differentiate the good car makers from the bad operators. And it must be so liberating to live your life in that insulated bubble in Canberra. And remember, he's the guy with all the complaint data at his fingertips. This matters because the media is so monumentally dumb. It's like a runaway horse. All brawn, no intellect. Inherently biased towards sensationalism and conflict. They amplify the message and they skew the framing. Hyundai, ACCC, court enforceable undertaking. You just join the dots, mate. Okay, 3 hours later, coming back out of the break on camera 2. Coming up, our exclusive investigation reveals death is still the biggest killer in Australia. We'll go live to former Police Commissioner Andrew Scipione and find out why homicide victims just stop talking to police. And we'll interview the serial killer who claims detectives ruined his reputation. But first, Hyundai has been reamed by the ACCC. Spare me this bullshit. This is why the traditional mediums are dying. They're all tail and no dog. They just amp up the conflict. They show some vision of a crying, stacked, hottie battler outside a dealership that has done her wrong. They wrap it in a package. If you're the producer, you've got a minute 30. And then they move on to the Rebel Wilson miracle diet. Who needs facts, perspective and context? We don't give a shit about that. We want ratings, mate. Ratings. You can bet your ass that there are 50-something car makers and their senior executive management teams who are watching this voluntary compliance by Hyundai like it's a blood sport. It's always pretty risky to go first, right? Because if Hyundai emerges reamed out in the prison shower of public opinion here, you can bet that those corporate spectators are going to push back against the ACCC's court enforceable undertaking demands. And that's quite a bad result for you, the consumer. So I'd suggest that the ACCC needs to be very careful indeed about the context and the association in its statements, because not all car makers are equal in the domain of consumer violation. And finally, I'd like to talk directly to you if you are the kind of dick who is about to accuse me of being in Hyundai's pocket. copping an urn to talk them up, allegedly. To you, I would say, show me the evidence, and good luck finding it. I am, however, very biased, and you should be too. Bias is essential in life, but what really matters is what's informing that bias. I recommend Hyundai, Kia, Subaru and Mazda frequently, not because of the plain manila envelope under the table every second Tuesday, but because they are the mainstream brands with the best products and the greatest likelihood of treating you decently if there is some Apollo 13 event with your car somewhere down the track. I do look forward to the inevitable accusatory comments, however. Nature of the beast. I'm John Cadogan. I hope this helps. Thanks for watching.